Well, guys, if you want to pull this build off, you're going to need the custom JCS 461i 100 custom brackets. Available at johnscustomsaws.com, $99.99 plus shipping and handling. Oh, yeah. That's ridiculous. There it is. That is a 500i cylinder on a 461 case. Hot damn. Okay, guys, check it out. We got a 461 cylinder, 500i stock, and the hybrid 500i cylinder that I chopped all to hell. So, as you can see, I got the corners chopped off and got my brackets and everything. Here's the gasket off of a 461. You can see it fits, perfectly on 461. And I'll tell you, anybody that's interested in doing this, it's a tight squeeze, and you got to do a hell of a lot of grinding and machining. It's quite a lot of it's a lot of work. So just be aware of that. But you can see by the time, because I got to get this bolt pattern, I'm not going to manipulate the crankcase and do screw that. But by the time you punch new holes in a 500i cylinder, the corners, that's why I cut them off, just because they're going to be so weak, and that's why I had to make my brackets. But I really do think this, for everybody's got a different way of doing stuff, so however you do it is totally up to you. But that's why I got these brackets right here. One of them came off of this turbo, and it's kind of thin. I cut the other one out of 1/4 inch thick steel, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So, this one's, it's not, the other one bends, and I don't like that. So I'll have to cut another bracket. At least I got a pattern. And I got my mysterious blue tape in there. Sorry, because I got some finger porting I can't give away, but look at all that machining that I had to do with that. That was done on the lathe, most of it, and then now I got my badass milling, $300,000 milling CNC drill press lathe set up, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, make another bracket, and I think I'm going to be good to go to start mocking this thing up. I got to figure out a way to get the intake manifold on it, intake boot, whatever you want to call it, and then I'm going to see what we got for a muffler and all that, but that's it. Look at it. So we got a whole bunch of work done to the crankcase, and this crankcase is, the crankcase is good, I should say. The bearings are shot. This one on this side is pretty exploded, but there we go. I got a Wiseco piston in there, got the crankcase stuffer and case all ground down, which I'm going to have to do to the other one. Okay, so I have the rough porting done. There's not much I can really change with how much machining I had to do. The Wiseco piston really helps, but here I'm centering up the degree wheel to get true top dead center, bottom dead center. You guys have seen me do this. I'm not going to get too far into it, but use a piston stop. Make sure you get the same number each way you rotate the wheel. The piston will hit the piston stop. If your number is off, split the difference until you do get the same number. That's the correct way to get true top dead center. Don't just eyeball it. I've done this on video a few times, so that eyeball and shit, it's not how the pros do it. But here I'm just running through these numbers real quick. So we've got 84 on the intake, and I know you couldn't see it there really with the reflection. And I came up with 99 on the exhaust, 117 on the uppers with a blowdown of 18. Squish, I'm going to leave at 22 with that dome piston. And for a 500i, that's pretty good. On this build, I would think it's going to work good too. So there we go. There's my chicken scratch in my favorite color. And that's just for my reference. But now I got to figure out how I'm going to swap this thing over to run the BPMR 7A plug, because it has the CMR 6H to, stock on a 500. So check this out. If you don't know what this is, that is a dingle hopper. No joke. And actually, this is kind of genius. This is going to blow your mind. If you tip it this way, it's a snorflack. Dude, pretty smart, huh? It points if you know what that means. I don't know what it means. I've never heard of that before. Never, ever. I just heard that from somebody. But anyway, let's go over to my $300,000 rig and figure this out. All right, setting up the high-end lathe, milling, CNC, drill press machine, and I realized, I know it's not a CNC. I'm just being kind of trying to be funny, but apparently some people don't get it. But so the way that I square this thing up initially is I spread the jaws apart on this chuck, and this is machined, so I know that that is right where I want it to be. So I leave the bolts a little bit loose on this bracket, and I'll work this up, and I want all three of those points to touch at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, then I know that this is squared up to where the bit is going to be, and it's worked pretty good. And then the drill press vise, I got to mount that to it yet, and that I basically just use a level. I just get level, and it doesn't really matter, the drill press, if you think about it, because you're only going like this. You know what I mean? If your drill press was on there crooked, it doesn't matter. Your part's not going to go crooked, if that makes sense. Where it would make a difference is if you were like this or like this. You know what I mean? The drill press can only be off this way. Yeah, you know, it probably doesn't make sense, but in my head, it does. So let me get this thing tightened down, and I'm going to mill that 500 cylinder. So I got the 500 cylinder kind of mocked up in my drill press. I need to punch a hole for the spark plug, as well as mill out for it to go deeper. So basically what I did is I just put a drill bit in that fits through the threads, and I'm just using it as a, I don't know what you'd call that, a tool to line it up. So there we go. I know that my cylinder is on there. The threads are perfectly squared or true to the bit. Now I can put the drill that I need on it, punch out the hole so I can put the BPMR7A in it, and then when I put my end mill on it, I know that where I'm at is going to be squared and true to the cylinder, so I can just put my dial indicator down here. Thanks to Rich Fife, I talk about him all the time. He's a legit machinist, and he's already done this to a different 500i cylinder, so I know how much to take off and everything. So thanks, Rich. And see, using this damn thing already. Well, that would be a BPMR7A in a 500i cylinder. Check it out. Had to mill about 130 thou out of the top of the cylinder, because if you check out so this is the plug that comes in like the 461s, the BPMR7A style, and this is what comes in a 500i. It's a smaller, I think I want to say this is 10 mil, this is 14 mil, or the threads, and then it's obviously, it has longer threads on it, so I had to, you know, punch that out, tap the threads, and then machine that down, mill it down. So you want to get that really like mirrored finish exhaust, you want to have a finish about like this before you even think of polishing. You want it to look pretty damn good. So there we go. Polish this baby up. Hot damn, guys, this thing is gonna be ready to rock. I might post this video today, even though I can't run it today. I have I'm gonna machine a spacer for the inside of this, and then I'm gonna JB weld that to the cylinder, and then pop this off once I have that spacer where I need it. That way I can still take the intake boot off, and then this outside clamp, this that's bolted to the cylinder, that's gonna come off too, if that makes sense. But I've had a fuel tank on here, the 461 fuel tank, and this pops out right where it's supposed to be, so good to go there. Got the plug in, all the port timing and everything's done, and I can use the 461 or 440, whatever muffler. I run one with no baffle in it, but that's kind of nice. I really don't like the 500i muffler that much. It's kind of a tin can. I just don't like it, but that's rad. So that saves me a lot of time. And also this intake boot thing went pretty well. I found one that came out where I needed it to. So hell yeah, I gotta mock that up, JB weld it, and we're gonna run this thing. I'll probably do a whole video on assembly, test running, all that good shit, heat cycles. So I want to get this video out though, just so people know that I'm still going on this bad boy. All right, guys, stay rowdy. See you next time. This is the raddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Really?